James Gunn wants a Superman who has humanity and is someone you would want to hug. And then this guy, Kyle Hunter, says, then James Gunn should create his own new character. Don't bastardize someone else's work by injecting some touchy-feely weakness to it. Superman is tough, leave him be. Where the hell do I even begin? Well, sorry to break it to you, Kyle. That's not how Superman works, right? Superman, right here. Is he the toughest? Absolutely, right? Aside from a rock and certain magic, nothing can really hurt the guy, right? But what he's all about, it's not about being faster than a bullet or being able to lift a planet. It's about this right here. Hope. Bro is the literal symbol of hope. The paragon of virtue. I'm not even a huge Superman guy. He's not my favorite character. This guy is. Right here. I mean, suffice to say, I am a pretty big Bat fan. And honestly, I must confess, growing up, I didn't like Superman that much because I thought he was such a Boy Scout. He's always got such a cheery disposition, and he's always so nice to everyone. But where's his dark side? I don't trust a man who doesn't have a dark side. Right? But maturing is realizing that Superman is the best of us. Not to mention that Superman and Batman are literal, like, best friends. Like brothers, basically. But then, of course, as you get older and you mature, you realize that what Superman represents is such a beautiful thing. The idea of never giving up hope. Sure, he's indestructible, but even he can be vulnerable at times, you know what I'm saying? Even though he's the most powerful man on the planet, he still feels human, and with that, we can connect with him. Which is why Injustice Superman always bothered me so much, because the last person, right? The last person who would ever turn to the dark side would be Superman, okay? Like, he literally is the incorruptible spirit, right? No matter what happens to him, right? Even if his wife was dead, even if his child was dead, he would not give in to the dark side, because that is that's fundamentally his character. So making him evil, he's not Superman anymore. He's just some jackass with a cape. That's why it makes more sense for Batman to go on the evil side, because he's basically on the edge. Like, you know, any second now he's about to go crazy. You know what I'm saying? It makes more sense for the Injustice storyline if Batman was crazy, if Batman went nuts, and then Superman was trying to rehabilitate him and help him. That would make a lot more sense. And once again, huge Bat fan, my favorite DC character, but you gotta give Superman his flowers, man. He is the undisputed GOAT of superheroes. Without him, there would be no superheroes. Bro, literally, I mean, super is in his name. He started this shit, right? So even though, like, you know, I'm not a huge Superman fan, I haven't read any of the comics or anything, I gotta salute him, bro. I mean, he's the man, you know what I'm saying? And because Superman is so pure-hearted, that's the only reason why he hasn't killed Batman. Batman v Superman literally makes no fucking sense, because if Superman really wanted to, he would have just killed Batman like that. The only reason Batman is even able to stand up against Superman is because Superman lets him, because Superman's a nice guy. And once again, I love Batman way more than Superman, but you gotta call a spade a spade. Superman is wiping if he wants to, you know what I'm saying? And speaking of Batman v Superman, this is not a good portrayal of Superman. Like, once again, the really Henry Cavill, amazing casting. Hands down the best live action Superman ever, appearance-wise. But acting, bro does not act like Superman at all, right? He's not dark, he's not menacing. He is tough, but he is also soft. Once again, you should be able to hug him. Kids should be able to look up to him. That's why he's such a global icon, because he's for everyone. Whether young or old, everyone can look at Superman and feel inspired. Oh my god, he gives me hope. Because true toughness is not he who can take down 100 men with one swing. It's he who can control himself, his emotions, his anger. And Superman does that every single day. Every single day, he is infinitely more powerful than the goons he deals with. But he chooses not to lash out, not to become like them. Lex Luthor makes his life a living hell, and he can end him in with just a breath. But he chooses not to. That is real power. That is power. That is restraint is power, right? He has all the power in the world, but he chooses to still be humble and be a genuinely good man. He's such a good man. He's even though he's an alien, he's better than most men on the planet, right? That is what Superman is. And of course, there's a guy named Kyle. Hey Kyle, word of advice: why don't you leave the character writing to the professionals? Why don't you stick to shotgunning Mountain Dews, okay? All that being said, if you hate on Superman, you are the problem, because bro is literally the definition of a perfect man.